Welcome back for another deep dive. You wanted us to take a closer look at this screenplay, Black Tears.
Mm.
So we're going to do that. And,
Okay.
this one's interesting because it follows these two sisters, Maribel and Isabel, in Tijuana.
Yeah.
And really it's about how their dreams for a better life kind of pull them in very different directions. We've got excerpts right from the screenplay itself, so we
Really?
can really dig into like what the writer's trying to do here.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to break this one down. What jumps out at you right away about these two characters? I mean, just from their motivations.
Well, you see right away in the screenplay how their dreams are set up, like in this stark contrast.
Okay.
Maribel, she's got this deep connection to her family. Her son, Lolito especially, he's got special needs. And
Right.
her whole dream is about finding a love that would accept them both. Like a fairy tale.
Yeah, yeah. Like in that scene where she's bathing Alito,
Yes.
it's not just about caring for him. She's imagining, a man who would love and accept them.
It's for who they are. Powerful. Mm-hmm. You really feel that longing for belonging and security. Especially,
Yeah,
in a world that can feel so harsh.
definitely. But then you have Isabel,
Right. Isabel's totally different.
like night and day.
Yeah. She's all about escaping. Like, she's got this 5-year plan
Oh, yeah.
all laid out. Education, stable job. She even wants to try Hollywood.
Wow.
It's all about, pragmatism, self-reliance.
It really is like two sides of the same coin.
Hmm.
Both of them wanting something more, but
Got such different approaches.
yeah, one's looking for love is the answer, and the other one's like, no, is hard work and a plan.
And it makes you wonder if those paths could ever,
Meet.
yeah, can you find true love if you're so focused on escaping? Can you ever really feel secure if you're always...
Looking over your shoulder.
Right. And the screenplay really makes you think about that.
Oh, definitely.
Well, things take a turn.
When the story jumps ahead a year. Now, it's Maribel, not Isabel, who's living in America.
Oh, wow.
She's taken on her sister's identity, working as a housekeeper in this, like, super luxurious Airbnb
Really?
in San Diego. And I was like, whoa, imagine, like, shedding your own identity. And
Stepping into someone else's.
Yeah. It's a total reinvention.
It is.
Yeah.
But, that screenplay, it reminds us that you can't just erase who you are completely.
Oh, no, so.
Well, Maribel, even though she's calling herself Isabel, now she still speaks with her Mexican accent.
Right.
It's like this whisper of her true self.
That's such a good point.
Yeah. Like, you can't just erase your past.
That detail really stayed with me. It's like,
You can change your circumstances.
oh, some parts of you are always
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. It's a clever way to play with this theme of identity,
Absolutely. Like, there's the outward performance.
The role we play.
Yeah, but then there's this deeper self that's always there.
That persists.
Okay, well, let's talk about the people Maribel meets in this new world.
All right.
Starting with the couple at the Airbnb,
Oh, yeah, Alex and Kat.
Alex and Kat. What you think?
Right away, you just get this clash of cultures and expectations. Alex, he's charming.
Mm-hmm.
He's drawn to Maribel's warmth and her cooking.
Yeah.
But Kat is,
Suspicious.
yes, very suspicious. She's got this privileged detachment. You see it so clearly in that breakfast scene.
Oh my gosh, that breakfast scene.
Oh, tell me about it.
I-
Kat rejecting those delicious huevos rancheros.
For a green juice.
It's more than just a food choice, right?
Way more. It's like this.
Visual metaphor.
Yes, those huevos rancheros, it's
Maribel's culture.
her culture, her way of
And
connecting
that rejects it.
completely.
Yeah,
So it's a rejection of that connection, like a power move almost.
absolutely. It's saying food is more than just food. It's a language.
Totally. It's about identity and building bridges.
And in this case, the
Wow.
bridge is being,
Shut down.
yeah. And that just sets the stage for all this tension.
Oh, yeah, between Kat and Maribel.
Mm-hmm. Kat's got this guarded demeanor, like she feels superior.
Oh, yeah.
And she views Maribel with so much suspicion, almost like she senses a threat.
And then to complicate things even more,
Yeah.
we have Peter
Oh, Peter.
arriving.
He's such an interesting character.
It is.
He's like this intrusion from the outside world, a reminder that Maribel's facade could crumble.
Right. And not to mention, he's immediately interested in Kat.
That can't be good for Maribel.
No.
Mm.
She's already on edge.
Yeah, his flirtation with Kat really disrupts things. You see Maribel getting more resentful.
But the real turning point
Yeah.
is when Peter just accidentally reveals
Oh, you mean about...
Veronica knowing about Lolito,
Yes.
Maribel's son.
Suddenly the stakes are so much higher.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That secret she's been
It's
guarding.
out in the open.
And the consequences.
To be devastating.
What did you think when you read that? Knowing how much Maribel's risked.
It was a total uh-oh moment. Like watching a house of cards about to fall. You know that revelation is going to have huge repercussions.
It definitely does. It sets up this whole new level of conflict.
Right. Like how far will she go to protect her secret?
Yeah. And to keep this fragile life she's built.
And that takes us right into the next part of the screenplay,
Oh, this is getting good.
where things get even more intense. We'll be back right after this to see what happens.
Maribel's really struggling to keep it together.
Oh.
You know, she's dealing with all this jealousy and suspicion
Oh, yeah.
and these cultural clashes.
Especially with Kat.
Oh, absolutely.
Their interactions are just
So tense.
so tense. It's like they're constantly misunderstanding each other.
Yeah, and that resentment just keeps building.
Do you think some divides are just too big to bridge?
I don't know. Kat's coming from this place of such privilege.
Mm-hmm.
She can't see Maribel as anything more than...
The help? It's
Exactly.
like they're speaking different languages.
Even when they're using the same words.
Right. And then there's that scene where Maribel finds Kat sunbathing with Peter.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Talk about adding fuel to the fire.
It really shows how much Maribel's holding back.
Mhm.
Remember, she's not just living a lie.
Right.
She's got all these desires of her own.
For love and acceptance.
Yeah, and to see Kat, who seemingly has it all,
Yeah?
flaunting it with Peter,
It's got to be tough.
it triggers something in Maribel
Definitely sets the stage for
for what happens next.
Peter's death.
Oh, yeah.
It comes out of nowhere.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's so unclear what really happened.
Right. Did Maribel have something to do with it?
The screenplay keeps us guessing.
I like how it doesn't give us easy answers.
Mm-hmm.
It really casts this shadow of suspicion over Maribel.
It makes you question her motives.
Yeah, like, is she capable of violence?
Or was it a tragic accident?
It's so well done.
And then there's that clue with the alcohol bottles.
Oh, yeah. Kat finding those.
Such a small detail.
But it really plants that seed of doubt.
It makes Kat even more suspicious.
And she already doesn't trust Maribel.
No.
Not at all. It's like she's determined to expose the truth.
While Maribel's trying so hard to conceal it.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, their motivations are just clashing.
It really drives the story.
And it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Totally. As Kat digs deeper into Maribel's past.
Talking to Veronica.
Yeah, and even the detective.
Things are getting pretty intense for Maribel.
And then her relationship with Alex takes this unexpected turn.
Oh, yeah.
He opens up to her about his marriage.
And the loss of their child.
That's such a vulnerable moment.
Does Maribel take advantage of that?
That's the question, isn't it?
Is it empathy or manipulation?
Hard to say.
I see both sides.
Me too. On one hand, there's this genuine connection,
Over their shared loss.
but then you see how Maribel might be using him.
It's what makes her such a complex character.
She's not just a villain
No.
or a victim,
She's driven by this desperation.
making choices that are both understandable.
And troubling.
And ultimately, those choices lead to some pretty devastating consequences.
Yeah, the tension just keeps building and building.
And then everything comes to a head in those final scenes.
Kat confronts Maribel.
Yeah, with everything she's learned.
But the truth is even more shocking than we expect.
When we find out that Maribel was actually Isabel all along,
Wow, what a twist.
it changes everything.
Makes you see the whole story in a new light.
And it makes it so much more tragic.
It really does. All those little details.
Like her accent,
Yeah, and how she's focused on stability.
they all take on this whole new meaning.
Makes you think about the weight of living a lie.
Can you ever really escape your past?
Or are those choices always with you?
Clearly, Maribel's desperation led her down a dark path.
It did. But the screenplay doesn't stop there.
No,
It throws us one final curveball.
that image of Maribel in prison, pregnant again.
It's haunting.
And it makes you think about the future.
What will happen to her child?
Will they be trapped in the same cycle?
It's such a powerful ending.
It sticks with you.
It makes you reflect on fate
And free will.
and hope, even in the face of despair.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the impact of our choices. You know, like how they can ripple outward and affect not just us.
But generations to come.
It makes you question, like, those societal structures that create these cycles of hardship.
Yeah, like are Maribel's choices all her own?
Or is she a product of her circumstances?
Those limited options.
The inequalities.
It's like the screenplay is forcing us to look at these uncomfortable truths.
About privilege and opportunity.
And the barriers that people face.
Trying to build a better life.
It's a story that works on so many levels.
It really does.
On the surface, it's this thriller.
With all the twists.
Yeah, But underneath,
There's so much more.
it's about social dynamics,
Cultural clashes.
the cost of desperation.
I thought it was interesting how it kind of flips that American dream narrative on its head.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't shy away from the dark side of that pursuit.
Definitely not. Like how the pressure to achieve
And lead to bad choices.
and tragic consequences.
It's not just a simple rags to riches story,
No, it challenges that idea that hard work is always enough.
like in Maribel's case,
It's twisted by her circumstance.
leading her down this path of deceit.
And it's not just Maribel who suffers,
Right. Even Alex and Kat,
who seem to have it all,
they're flawed too.
struggling with their own problem.
Their perfect vacation.
Becomes this crucible
Yeah, where they have to face the truth about their relationship.
and the emptiness in their lives,
Their story is like this counterpoint to Maribel's.
showing that wealth and status don't equal happiness.
They're both trapped in a way.
Yearning for freedom,
It reminds you that even in a place like Southern California,
paradise on the surface.
there's darkness underneath
It's a cautionary tale.
about human nature.
And the illusion of easy answers.
And that complexity is what makes Black Tears so good.
It doesn't tie everything up neatly
It leaves you with questions
about the choices we make.
and the impact they have.
It's been a really insightful deep dive.
Black Tears is a screenplay that stays with you
It makes you think and feel.
and question your own assumptions
It shows how fiction can reflect our own reality.
and the challenges we face,
It helps us understand the human condition
and maybe find a path towards empathy.
and hopefully redemption.
Well said. You've given us a lot to think about.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Black Tears.
Of course.
And to you, our listener, thanks for requesting this one.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Remember to keep those minds curious
And those hearts open.
to the power of storytelling.
Until next time.
See you then.